What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 71.
Holy cow.
Woo! Yes, we are live. If you're joining us live, join us in the live chat. And if you're watching later, comment down below. Yes. I am Carrie Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen.
And we will be talking about some quick local Los Angeles fun, exciting news, as well as the Knights of the Zodiac premiere, Overwatch, and Demon Slayer. So stick around for all of that. And let's get right into things that we are excited about.
Yay.
So first off, if you live anywhere near Los Angeles area or would like to make the nerd pilgrimage to Little Tokyo, which I had done many a times.
I did that today.
Yay. It's always a fun trip. I always love going.
Oh my God,
there is a new exciting event. It is the 8th annual Delicious Little Tokyo, put on by Go Little Tokyo. And this is Los Angeles' largest Japanese culinary event, and it will have new taste experiences, and it's on Saturday, June 24th. So Little Tokyo's Community Council's community-based small business marketing initiative, they've announced this. It's going to be on, again, Saturday, June 24th. And there are different tours that you can pay for that go around Little Tokyo, and they're food and educational. So there's a historic tour. There's ones where you could do self-guided tour, and you get yummy goodies along the way. So yes, please.
I mean, as someone who does her own self-guided food tours as it is every time I go to Little Tokyo, today I stocked up on milk tea, got more milk tea from Gongcha because I'm that person, went to Fugetsudo for mochi, got a stuffed donut from, I'm trying to remember the little bakery in kind of Old Town Little Tokyo, which I know that's not what it's called, but that's what my brain is calling it, and onigiri from Rice and Nori. So
nice.
I always do a little food tour when I'm down there and bring it home because it's amazing. And that's just stuff that I've picked up on myself or heard about from other people. Please imagine a guided tour from professionals.
I was like, yes, please.
For all of the treasures, all of the incredible food they have down there, and beautiful architecture, honestly.
Yes. And there's a few different options and time selections and price points. So take a gander at that. So for more information, visit littletokyola.org/delicious. Again, littletokyola.org/delicious. We'll also put this on our Twitter in case you forget that, and we'll put that there. Also, for more information about Go Little Tokyo, follow at Go Little Tokyo or visit littletokyola.org. Yes. So that is
if you're local,
exciting.
If you're local, it's wonderful. I know the traffic is occasionally sometimes like, traffic, but also if you're anywhere near the metro services, there's a Gold Line station right near Little Tokyo. So as long as you can make it to Grand Central.
I think we're having a little bit of some technical internet. Oh, there you are.
I was going to say, is that your internet or mine?
I think it's yours.
Oh,
looks fine. But yes,
I just cycled the router. It should be fine.
Different ways to get down there. Also, Union Station's not too far away, so it's a nice way to get down there. And they're building, I think, a new metro stop, like train stop right there. So I'm excited for that.
I will believe the new metro stops when they happen because there's supposed to be a Purple Line extension on Wilshire a decade ago, and it hasn't occurred yet. So
it looks like it's almost done. So we'll see.
I'll believe it when they happen, and I can actually take a train there.
Yes.
But there is a Gold Line stop near Little Tokyo. It's a little bit of a walk from like the Marakai area, but it's there.
We got Giga Derek says, howdy, everybody. Howdy.
Hello.
We got John Knight says, hi, ladies. I just finished Tokyo Revengers Season 2 dub finale.
Fun.
I haven't gotten into that series yet, but I've heard good things.
Yes.
So yes, again, go check out that stuff for the delicious tours. And again, we'll put that on our Twitter, which, speaking of, yes, go follow us on NTATNB on Twitter. We'll post links and photos to the different stuff that we've talked about. which, speaking of a thing that we are also excited about, we saw the Knights of the Zodiac premiere. We were there last week, so yay!
And we were fortunate enough to be able to do red carpet coverage in addition to seeing the movie, and then the baller after party.
Yes. So thank you very much, Sony, for that one.
Yes, thank you, Sony.
It was at a cool, we've been to this location before. It was at the Academy of Motion Pictures Museum. And then the after party was at the Peterson Museum, which, side note, if you're also at LA area or going there, Peterson Museum is an automotive museum, which you may or may not be into cars, but they have cars from films and TV shows. It's just a really cool, interesting museum.
Yeah, so that was ever wanted to see the Wienermobile.
Yeah. So yeah, we saw we got to cover the red carpet. Katie got to interview.
I got to talk to Sean Bean, which was nuts.
So an actor you may or may not know.
Yeah, no, the last interview of the carpet and you get one question, and I'm like, great, I get one question. What if I'm a total smartass about it? And it was a great interview. Actually, we got to interview, as it turns out, a good chunk of the cast. They were all absolutely fantastic to talk to. Again, we're going to have all of those down below.
Those links are.
Yes, they are.
It has the
full
link
playlist.
For that. We have also, one of my highlights, I would say, was talking to the director, because this film took a very long time to make. So hearing his perspective on it. Also, we did touch upon adapting anime and manga to film, because we know y'all are thinking about it too, because you're like, but not is really fun, which we'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, he was great to talk to. And I think my highlight in that moment was asking what knight he would be. And he said nobody had asked him that question before. And I was like, yes, I love those moments. So go watch all of our interviews in that link down below. We'll tell you a little bit about the movie. Don't worry, no spoilers, because it just came out this past weekend.
Yeah, still in theaters.
Yes, so very new. But overall,
just for those going, Knights of the Zodiac, why does that sound familiar? You might also know it under the title Saint Seiya, which is what it is in Japan, and I think most of the world. Evidently, it is absolutely huge, but it just never really hit America in the same way that it hit other countries.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that I remember vaguely the anime being on TV, but I wasn't as regular with it. I like the overall concept. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then this movie, the trailer looked really good. And overall, I'd say for me, it's a very fun movie. Yeah. I can't speak upon how accurate the adaptation is, but for a live action American made anime, like a more American style, we're not talking a Japanese one. Very fun, very entertaining.
And if you're into Sentai, or again, for those of you who know it a little more American, Power Rangers, generally speaking, that particular style of action and fight choreography, Knights of the Zodiac is extremely Sentai. So if that's what you're into, you will absolutely love this. The fight scenes are incredible. We got a chance to talk to some of the behind the scenes people at the after party. They are wonderful. The stunt team was glorious. And let's be real, when you have Sentai action, you want a very good stunt team, and they really were.
And quick shout out on that. Some of the people involved in that stunt team are part of Marshall Club, which we've interviewed them also here on this channel. Yay. And so that was really fun. The action was super cool, and Power Rangers, but higher budget vibe. Yeah. Yes, that. Not saying Power Rangers looks, you get it.
We know that Sentai is made on a TV show budget, and that's life. This is made on a film produced by Sony budget, and that's very different.
And the effects look amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And just
the effects are fun.
Yeah, and making anime manga looking people look real, I think they captured that very well. And just there's some really cool characters, and they got some really big name actors in it. So it's one of those, if this is all sound like your vibe, you should definitely check out Knights of the Zodiac.
Yeah. And it's not a movie full of white Americans. Like, they went the gamut in terms of casting, and the movie is honestly better for it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed all the cast. I also, a unique perspective we have of being press. It was really a great opportunity to talk to these people first and then watch them in the movie because you're like, oh, yes! You're just so happy for them. And then it was also shout out to TJ Storm. I saw him in that and I was like, oh my gosh, I know him. And so that was just super exciting. And those moments are awesome.
And everyone in this movie just leaned into the curve until they were horizontal. Absolutely killed it.
John Knight in the chat says Knights of Zodiac has 3 English dub discs, Netflix and ADV. So yeah, there is content out there for sure.
Yeah. I think I remember it might have been ADV being on Toonami and having a cover of A Flock of Seagulls, I Ran So Far Away as the opening theme. Like, it's been a minute. It's been a decade. But things I remember.
I feel like this was like a late night or very early morning cartoon thing on Saturdays. But
it had a Toonami slot at one point.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember how much I was watching Toonami because I'm like, I know I did some. But I was like, WB had a lot of the cartoons really. I feel we're almost going to get tangent corners. So, yes, Knights of Zodiac, check it out. Be on the lookout for a theater near you or keep update or follow. It's on Twitter. I'm just going to double check. Yes, follow KOTZ movie. So Knights of Zodiac, KOTZ movie to be up to date on all official announcements and releases. So you can be up to date when that movie is coming your way.
And again, if you're comfortable seeing movies in theaters, definitely go see it. It's always a lot more fun to experience things like this with fellow fans.
Yes. Giga Derek says, vaguely remember in Shonen Jump. Yeah, I feel that would be a good fit.
Again, it never quite hit America the way it did a lot of other countries. Yeah. So I can also see the movie just doing gangbusters globally.
Yes.
But also, hit that US box office. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm. And so that's it on that. Katie has some Overwatch news.
You bet I do. Let me just pop open all of my everything. What a crazy weekend. I say that, I feel like I say that about every weekend, but honestly, there is always at least one match where you sit there and go, what on God's green earth is happening here? And a few matches where you go, oh, this one's going to be a banger. And then it just kind of goes out with a whimper to the point where the desk is no longer allowed to forecast, oh, this one's going to be a banger. Oh, this one's going to be great, because it doesn't. And then something else pulls out all the stops and goes nuts. The one that went absolutely crazy, the one that popped off this weekend, I'm looking at my results and remembering, like, which of these matches, it was definitely... I appreciate my internet so much. I appreciate it so much.
You're saying these matches, and it was definitely, and that's when last I heard.
It was a cliffhanger.
It was bringing you that Monday energy, and we are all here for you. So thank you, everybody.
I thought I had all of this fixed, and then no, it continues to misbehave. The LA Valiant and the Florida Mayhem. You may remember my whole thing about friendship ended with the Valiant. Houston Outlaws are my new best friend now, which still holds. But I do have to admit that the Valiant did put together a solid lineup, and they are only getting better as time goes on. Florida continues to be one of the top teams. I would slot them in solidly at third, possibly tied for second. Their record speaks for that as well. So the fact that the Valiant was able to step up to them was wild. The Mayhem still took it in a map 5, but the Valiant performed a lot better than I think anyone were expecting. I don't know if anyone's predictions looked like this. So they're definitely going to be a team to keep an eye on as time goes on. We were expecting Houston and Atlanta to go all the way and be crazy. And then Houston took the first map, Atlanta queued onto what they were doing, and Atlanta won 3-1. So I'm still a little sad. Houston are my boys, like I said, best friends with the Houston Outlaws. But it happens. Atlanta is a crazy team, and they will probably remain at the top until we have the latest patch go through and a meta shift, which I don't think will happen until after midseason madness. So get used to a lot of Atlanta Reign 3-0ing and 3-1ing people. I think we're going to have a tough time with anyone being able to step up to them for a while. The lineup is just too good and works too well with the current meta. That said, we no longer while the Atlanta Reign remain undefeated, they are currently the only team that is undefeated when we had 3 before the weekend started. Houston Outlaws was also undefeated and they lost to Atlanta. And the Guangzhou Charge lost to the Seoul Infernal, losing their crown. So at this point, we also had 3 teams who hadn't dropped a single map, those 3 teams. We no longer have any teams that have not dropped a single map. That's done with. And God bless the Vegas Eternal. They are trying so hard. I'm going to take a minute to talk about Vegas here. We've talked about it used to be Paris. So when I say Vegas Eternal, keep in mind that it is the Paris Eternal with some rebranding and a slightly different color scheme. They've had a tough time of it. They were a solid team in season 2 and season 3, and they've just kind of had some difficulties after that, trying to figure out their identity, trying to figure out their lineup. Last season is when they picked up, like I said, my favorite support duo from Contenders, Lucamino and Rack Attack. And then on Friday, they were supposed to play. They were supposed to hop in with their 5 humans. And Malthul, who is one of their DPS, his internet gave out. Kind of like mine is tonight, except worse, like full-on outage. They could not get a delay for the match because it was one person and not the entire team. And they didn't have anyone on the bench. So they moved Lucamino from support to DPS. And they brought in their GM, their manager, Avala, to play flex support for them. They didn't win, but my God, they had a great time. There's something to be said for we have literally nothing left to lose and there are 0 expectations right now, so let's just go. And it was against the London Spitfire, who they're not the top team, but they're still fairly far up there. They're fairly consistent performers, upper end of the middle of the pack. So Paris, God bless them, did their best. Luke Mino was having so much fun. The casters were calling it the Infinity Gauntlet, and that he was trying to play every single DPS he could before he got put back on support. Avala was holding her own in a way that you would not expect for a general like gold plat player to be playing with top 500 and pros. So again, they didn't win, but it was wild watching them go, and they did play up to the Spitfire. That said, they also finally managed to pick up a map later on that weekend against, against New York. And it's the first time that they managed a map win. They haven't managed a match win yet. They're still 0 and all of it, but they picked up a map. They had a absolutely buck-wild Friday. And I think at this point, I'm kind of pulling for them in that you can do it. I believe in you sort of way. Like, I would say they got a win eventually, but we know that's not true because of Season 1 Shanghai Dragons going 0 and 32. Like, no, nobody has to win eventually, actually. Like, that doesn't have to happen. That often doesn't happen. But I'm still pulling for Vegas. I'd like to see them pull one out. I think it would be fun. And also, for the love of God, if you've got the budget, pick up more people. Even if they spend most of their time on the bench, you gotta be prepared for things like this. I love Avala. She's wonderful. She's hysterical. You really don't want to have to pull your GM in for matches. That is a desperation play, and everybody knows it. So, Eternal had a weird weekend. Eternal had a very weird weekend, but honestly, I'm here for it. San Francisco nearly dropped to New York. New York is a lot better than we thought they would be, and San Francisco is kind of struggling and giving us some excuses, which is not great for a 2-time championship team and last year's runner-up, especially when they still have last year's Rookie of the Year and MVP Prophet on their team. But one really great player on a team is not enough to carry. And they're just, I couldn't tell you what the issue is, but they're having trouble. So teams to keep an eye on next weekend. We have regular play in the West, whereas in the East, we are hitting spring stage knockouts. which means that we have our placement set for our pro teams, and our contenders teams are stepping up into the knockout brackets to play against the pros and see how far they can get. If it's anything like Western knockouts for the Pro-Am, they probably won't get too far because there is some major stratification between contenders and the big leagues. That said, we have, let me grab this contenders list. We have Dreamers, Poker Face, Rhodes, Panthera, O2 Blast, and SPS. And honestly, if anyone's going to make it, it's O2 Blast. They are an unholy terror, and I cannot wait to see them play. So, should be interesting. Keep an eye on those APAC matches this weekend. And also, on the Western matches, we have fun here. We'll see how people do. But APAC has looped contenders back in, and I am so excited to see how they perform.
I don't know if this was referring to your thing, but I pulled it up. But Roundabout?
I have no idea,
Okay.
and I think that might have been a reference to me dropping on a cliffhanger.
Maybe.
Unintentionally, but here
Okay.
we are.
Yes.
But yeah, no, if you've never watched an Overwatch League before, definitely, I wouldn't say tune in for the APAC matches because they're at like 1 a.m. Pacific, but watch the VOD for those if you're not up at 1 a.m. Pacific. They're a good time.
All right. Well, speaking of a good time, my goodness, this new episode of Demon Slayer.
This is not a good time. This is the opposite of a good time.
No, but entertaining.
We had a good time.
I would say the thing that I was like, what is when we find out the one demon is Lidl? Because I was like, what? I just love the characters going, what? And me going, what?
And the fact that they like sped up the animation of him running. So it's the...
It was so funny.
It was pretty damn good.
Like
that. Honestly, for this, like, this makes so much sense to have the 4 full-sized emotions, but to have the actual one you need to attack be the size of a Barbie and hiding 300 feet away.
And we never saw him next to the other demons in the castle, so it's not like we had any context. Like, it looked like he was just sitting on the staircase, and you're like, yeah, sure. And then,
I don't think he's always that small to begin with.
It was a JoJo reference. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
when JoJo reference failed. That'd be shout out back to when Jasmine joined us on here because I'm oh, good point. Demon Slayer did a Mother's Day episode.
Shit.
I had not thought of it that way, but that's true.
Not on purpose, because I'm pretty sure it's not Mother's Day in Japan yesterday, but like...
Right. Well, Mother's Day weekend, Well, yeah, anyway.
No, I think they have it on a different... Because I know the UK has it on a different day as well.
I see what you mean, yeah. Gigdare says, John Knight, that's evil. Excellent by you.
Chef's kiss, man. That's funny.
Yes, that's good. But yes, back to our... mini demon. I thought that was hilarious. It was such a the awesome thing of this show is like it's heavy and dark and all this stuff, and then it's like comedy.
It occasionally just goes, so this is hilarious. Like it's going to pose a logistical problem, but it's hilarious.
Yes, it is hilarious. We'll pause here for a second. And we're back. There we go. Can you hear me now? Your internet is like, I hate you today.
I know. I don't know what it is.
It's like the demons. You just keep trying to get it. And again. But yes. But then back, I would say, speaking on that and Mother's Day and demons and stuff, the flashback we get for... I was like Yutaro. No,
I can't remember his name either.
Genya.
Is it Genya?
There we go. Yutaro's
not
the other
Bakugo.
Yes, the not Bakugo. Yeah.
No, Yutaro's Gabriel. He's been dead.
Yes, that's why I was like, not that one. Genya. Him. So we find out, I love the flashback, love getting context on him and everything like that. And we get his motivation. We get a bit more why he's such an angry, angsty, grumpy boy.
Yes.
But we don't know how he is like he is. It did in I think it was the post-credit scene, verified we did see him back at Butterfly Mansion and he wasn't eating. So he could have been what he is now back then. So
Yes. My assumption is that he was. But yeah. Not Bakugo, and his brother also not Bakugo. Yeah. That's I made the comment watching this with my roommate that like he's got Tanjiro's backstory. She's like, no, he's got Nezuko's backstory. I'm like, oh, that's right. We have the demon came in and wiped everyone out, and we have the two siblings left, and the younger one attacking the older one. But just like things, I'm not going to sit here and say things turned out for Tanjiro and Nezuko, but like they have each other's backs still.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a family rift that could not be mended.
No. And it was like, oh man. And
yeah. So just seeing the there but for the grace for this backstory, like, oh, it's worse. Oh, the parallelism. Oh boy, let's go.
And seeing him start to cry, and then Tanjiro's like, you can do it. I'm like, oh. We all need that motivator in our life because he's like, oh, thank you.
And also just recognizing going in the same episode from you will not surpass me, I have to be a Hashira, to I can't do this, you need to. I think having just that moment of I am going to die here and then it not happening, like I think that was the reality check that he needed.
Yes. Well, and then not a reality check, but something for him too. That another Tanjiro and him moment was when he's like, I'm going to be Hashira. And Tanjiro goes, absolutely. Yes, you will. Was not what he expected. And then he kind of has that like, oh, okay. Like he's getting won over by the friendliness.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, there you go. Spoonful of comedy, barrel of trauma. Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, Gig Derek.
Yeah. The trauma cocktail with a sugar rim.
Yes, that is quite. But yeah, him recognizing that. And then for us, the brutal thing was seeing him get like Swiss cheesed up. And I'm like,
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
I know, but it's so like traumatic to see it.
Like when they have a healing factor, that's when you can really just crack them open and see what's inside. So like, yeah, it's bad. And we know from his internal monologue that one, he can't do his head. And also he's got a time limit. Like he can only do this for so long. And so the whole I'm wasting time running after this demon. So again, we're getting little bits of what's going on with him. And also Nezuko being very much like hey, stand your ground with him, protect him. I'm going to go after this. After the little one, then.
Well, then on that part too, another moment of comedy. Oh yeah, don't hurt her. That's my sister. And like the style of animation she's like, hi.
It's just that moment of, what? Huh? What? Because he wouldn't know that because he avoids Tanjiro every chance he gets.
Yes, and he's not really a good communicator, so.
That's my sister. What? Huh? Perfect. Didn't really get much from our Hashira this episode.
No.
He's still in a water jar. Like, okay. I'm honestly expecting one of the Smiths to still be there and break him out.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we get in a way though is how he is able to be so calm. And like, well, fuck, this isn't working. But he's not like most people in that situation would start to panic. You know.
But yeah, we just had the little check-in and then, okay, whatever. But I do think that is going to be because Tanjiro gave him the whatever kindness you do for. Yes, the internet. Thank you. Whatever kindness you do for someone else will come back around to you. So I would this is me kind of like calling it here. Not quite on the board because I'm expecting it within the next episode or two. But the swordsmiths that he saved, especially the little kid, like running to stay out of the fight, but coming back around to save him. And I think the key to that is going to be disrupting the water jar that our upper five, I think the five, is holding. So again, this is going to be one of those, you fight a Hashira on their own and you can enclose them in that, they're done. But teamwork, making the dream work.
I was gonna say there was a lot and not a lot all at the same time.
Yeah. There was a lot of backstory, but it's so easy to
yes.
just condense that in a couple sentences that it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's stuff to talk about, but there was a lot of combat, and that's not easy to talk about. And then there was the backstory, and we kind of, yep.
Gigaderic pointed out, poisoned, upside down, stabbed, and stuck in a water prison. The life of a Hashira. Yes.
Is it Tuesday already?
Yeah. Anything else that stood out to you? Oh, the fact that Genya's sword broke on the little demon thing. So the question is, why? And like, what will make it work? So
is that his usual sword, or was he using? But he also mentioned like he can't use breathing techniques.
Yes, that was. There you go. That is another important one. So, and I wonder if that's related to his demon abilities, which. Yes, it sucks that he can't do the breathing technique, but he still has some kind of like superpower mode.
Yeah, and if you can't do the breathing technique, how are you going to be able to behead some of these upper level demons? So I think
maybe demon strength that he gets.
I don't know. I think that's kind of what we're looking at here is like that is the barrier to him becoming a Hashira. He can still be a strong demon slayer because he's got that healing factor and that, he's got that inherent strength and also gun.
Yep.
Breathing technique, gun. But the fact that he can't use breathing techniques and is figuring out ways to shore that up instead. Like, I don't think that's going to cut it to actual. I don't think that's going to cut it. But it's definitely more than enough to slow them down and to do what's needed.
Yes. And then put this up a second ago, but again, Gigaderic points out Tanjiro getting faster as the fight goes on. Yes. And even the demon noticing that.
That is the shonen protagonist in him.
Well, it is the more adversity he is facing, it's kind of the faster he's leveling up, unfortunately. In terms of, you have to go through some shit, but damn, you level up fast.
And again, just having the brain and being able to put two brain cells together and go, so this isn't like Yutaro, we need to do this, there's something else, there's another demon. Like, again, he's got all of these skills, but it's the ability to put things together and learn and strategize and adjust on the fly. Like, that is a thing that cannot often be taught. Sometimes that's just a thing that someone is able to do because that's how their brain works.
Yep.
And it's just, yes. And now I can't hear you. There we go. There we go. We caught up.
I muted while I was drinking this. You said that's how their brain works at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just the fact that he's able to do that is what keeps him alive.
I agree. That is something. And then teamwork with Nezuko having his backup as well, which is awesome. And her leveling up a little bit on her own too. So I want to see more of that.
Yes.
Anything else? Or I think that's kind of it for this one.
I think we kind of hit it. Yeah.
I think so. Alrighty. If you have any other thoughts or comments on this episode of Demon Slayer, please leave a comment down below. Now we're going to get into some other stuff that you should check out. So these are books, movies, games, what have you, YouTube videos that we think you should watch or read, whatever, consume, that we are also checking out. I think I have 2 more episodes to go, but I've been watching Queen Charlotte, Bridgerton, one of that series, which I'm really liking it. It is very, I've seen the other 2. It is not as steamy. So if that's something you like or dislike, just so you know, not as much of that going on.
All right.
It is very intriguing of getting you curious about what is going on and why people are behaving certain ways and giving you that answer in a decently timely manner. Like by the time that you're like, okay, what is going on? They're like, by the way, this is what happened. So you're like, okay, thank you. I wanted to know. I will report back probably next time. I've probably seen the end, but it's been it's good romance, it's good storytelling, and because it's keeping me engaged of like, okay, so what happens next? Where is this going? And I didn't feel that same kind of intrigue the same with the other two, but those were different kind of stories. So
Yeah.
if you've watched the Bridgerton series or any one of the above of those three, let me know which one is your favorite or rank them and why, and not, not yucking on anyone's yum of if you like one season versus another, totally fantastic. Personally, I like 2 over 1, and then we'll see when I finish 3 where that ranks. But
Bridgerton rankings.
yes,
Put them in the comments.
Bridgerton rankings, yes. Katie, what about you?
I mean, I still demand Scream rankings from people when I hear that they are into Scream and have watched the entire franchise. Like, nope, rank them, let's go.
I have a few more to catch up, but I would almost feel I'd have to rewatch some stuff because it'd be a while.
I mean, it's a quick watch if you're not including the TV show,
Yeah.
which the TV show is not required for a movie ranking, but it's very good.
I did like that. The show is really good.
It was
At least
so
the first
good.
season was really good.
I've seen the first 2 seasons and then the made-for-TV movie that continued the second season, but unfortunately did not cap it off. And then third season, they were like, wipe the slate, we're doing something completely different. So we never actually got any distinct answer. They never actually wrapped everything for those seasons, which is like, that's very sad because the Scream TV show was actually very good. And not just like, oh, it was good for, I think it was either an MTV or a VH1 production.
I think it's MTV. Yeah, season 1 was really good.
Yeah,
like
it's one of those like, it wasn't, oh, it was good for MTV. It was like, no, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yes.
And it took an episode or 2 for us to really get into. I guess you guys should just watch the Scream TV series.
There you go.
Like, you don't have to have seen the movies for it. It helps if you're kind of familiar with the tropes, but different location, different cast, different everything. So it's the idea of Scream, but not married to the movies. And honestly, the made-for-TV movie that they did, because it's 2 seasons, a movie, and then a third unrelated but still equally quality season. And yeah, I know, in and out.
No, I heard you. I was just about to say, I was
good.
doing a quick shout out of Giga Derek does say Intelligent Softboy Pro Tags for the win.
Yes.
And also, I did see a lot of people post about this. New Legend of Zelda is out by my mom and Nintendo Switch Wednesday to play it. Oh,
yeah, that's what I was going to talk about for mine.
All right.
Beat me to it. But yeah, definitely watch the Scream TV series. And the made-for-TV movie that they did after season 2 is one of my favorite Scream things ever. Because it's its own, the bit that it has, I think, right at the beginning that had to do with the previous season was shocking and amazing. And then it just goes and does its own self-contained mystery for an hour and a half, which is glorious. And you get to see our protagonist being 1,000% done with all of this bullshit in her life. Like, I love her. And it is Scream 4 Sidney Prescott is done with this noise levels. And it's so good. It's so good. You got to watch 2 seasons to get up to it. It won't make sense without context, but it's so good. It's so good. Yes, I have not been doing any new media this past week because life has been insane in better ways, but still crazy. The one thing we did do, the one thing I did pick up from GameStop at 9 p.m. on a Thursday is the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom, which is the direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. And my roommate and I have something of a pact. It's her game, but she does not play plot-related stuff if I'm not there. So it's a bonding activity that's going to go over the next, 90 hours whenever we're able to play it. So new media evening time has been subsumed by Tears of the Kingdom evening time, which is worth it. This game is amazing. We're about 5-6 hours in, but a chunk of that 5-6 hours has been screwing around with the mechanics, finding new shrines, finding out that it did bring over all of the horses from the previous game. So we went to a stable and they were all there and it was great. Like, it remembered the previous game's save file. There's a little weirdness in terms of how much time has it been, who actually remembers things, meeting some NPCs and them going, I have no idea who you are. And it's like, I sold 800 lizards to you last game. How do you not know me? But It is very much a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. You will probably be lost if you have not played Breath of the Wild because it does build on that. But man, is it good. Oh my god, they gave us construction mechanics and just a bunch of supplies so you can put machines together to do things. I have seen people do some absolutely crazy things on Twitter, both in
Absolutely
yeah,
crazy things on Twitter,
both in good ways and in why would you do that ways.
All right.
Because that's what happens when you give people build
Yep.
anything in a game mechanics. You get people making castles in Minecraft, and then you get people making things in Minecraft. They're like, why though? And for here, it's Breath of the Wild. Like, we are not super far into the story. There's only so far you can get in about 5 or 6 hours, but we're working on it. And boy, is this game good. Boy, is it good. Like, if
That's
you
what I'm
haven't
seeing
played Breath
across
of the
everybody's
Wild,
posts. Yeah.
oh yeah, no, it's a blast. Like, if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, it's not going to make any sense. If you would like to play a Zelda game just absolutely devoid of any context whatsoever, I'd say dig up Majora's Mask, actually. And I'm well aware that Majora's Mask is 20 some odd years, 30, almost 30 years. Oh my god. Majora's Mask is old, you guys. Majora's Mask is N64 and is a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. However, if you haven't done Ocarina of Time, you'll still be able to follow along pretty well because Majora's Mask was we have all of the character models, we have everything, we're going to give you a very small budget. Please go make a sequel game because Ocarina of Time was stupidly popular. And Majora's Mask wound up being this horror adjacent meditation on death and grief and the passage of time, wrapped up in an E10 plus Zelda game with aspects of body horror and possession.
Okay, then.
It's one of my favorite Zelda games ever, and it is incredible.
Yeah, Giga Derek.
I think it's 30 years old now. 2001, 2002. Yeah, no. No, because it couldn't have come out in
Wait, what?
the
What's the name of it?
Majora's Mask. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. It couldn't be, it can't be full on 30 years old yet because I was older than that.
April 27, 2000.
So just over 20 years old. Good goddamn.
I never played it, but I recognize that mask.
Oh yeah, no, but just parts of it have become mimetic. If you've ever seen the Dawn of the Third Day, 72 Hours Remain bit,
Yeah,
my mouth's not mathing. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if you've ever seen the Dawn of the Third Day, 72 Hours Remain bit, if you've ever seen the moon with the fucking terrifying face crashing into the earth bit, Majora's Mask gave us so much. And if you were super into creepypastas about 10 years ago and you read Ben Drowned, that was based on Majora's Mask. So yeah, this game gave us a lot. And if you want to just hop into a Zelda game with absolutely zero context, I believe it's available in the eShop.
Oh, we lost you audio-wise. It's available in the eShop. I'm like, we should put up a bar. All right. Well, I feel that's our cue. We'll go to the end. Technology is not technologizing for us today. So yes, everybody, thank you so much for joining us at Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, another episode. Got some Mondays energy. And okay, we're going to have Katie hop out and then hop back in. And yay, get to see part of my extra kitchen there. Yes, pausing for technical difficulties. Woo! There we go, banners. But yes, Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. Thank you, everybody. Ooh, no one bring that back up. And yeah, let's get back. Yay! Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I was. No, I was there. Wait.
No. Oh no.
It's inconsistent. Now it's there. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, thank you. John Knight said nice kitchen. I was like, oh, y'all can see more of my kitchen now.
I haven't had tech problems as bad since episode 1.
It's all right. You know what? Life
Yeah.
happens, tech happens. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. So we'll wrap up things. You can first make sure to check us out on NTATMB on Twitter. We'll post some more pictures from the Knights of the Zodiac premiere, as well as on our own profiles, which we'll get to in just a moment. But also make sure to subscribe here on Conversation. Give the video a thumbs up. Let people know about our show. And if there's like other anime in the future that we should check out, because we have that whole segment of stuff you should check out, let us know. And Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you are into reaction videos or just general commentaries, they are on that YouTube channel. We are finishing up the last bit of Ruby reactions, so that last one will be out this coming week. Yeah, I am also a co-host on Silver Screams. That is on YouTube. That is a horror-based channel I do with my roommate. I know we've been talking about the horror Q&A for Evil Dead Rises. That is, I believe that is now up. If you are also interested in seeing us talk about the Scream TV series episode by episode, those are older videos, but those also live on that channel. Like, if you're interested in the good old-fashioned after show, we did do that for that. So, yes, subscribe to both. Very fun.
Yay! And you all can check me out online at, oh, there we go. I was like off screen,
Yeah,
come
like,
back, and there we go. Yes, it's the magic. And
yeah.
come online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE across all social media platforms. I have interviews in the group playlist. There we go, with Katie as well. Stay tuned. There's going to be interviews with the director for the new movie Kandahar, and some other possible ones. So stick around for that. But that's the best way. Just follow on whatever platform you use to be up to date on all the different things. And again, for this show specifically, the NTATNB on Twitter. And thank you, everybody, for joining us through all the ups and downs of technology. Yay! And if you joined us live in the live chat, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching later, no worries. Or listening later, too. Let us know if you are watching, listening, and where you're listening from. Leave a comment down below. We love hearing from all of you. And we will see you next time. Bye.